What's going on, beautiful people? Let me slide this over. Episode 31. Let's go. I'm pretty excited. This is Respiratory Health, and I call it Respiratory Reset. Most of the health focuses you guys hear are called Respiratory Reset, Lymphatic Reset, because again, it's all about knowing where you are, and sometimes you got to go back so you can go forward healthy. This is Breathe Better, Live Better. I'm pretty excited about this episode. Again, thank you guys for being with me for 31 episodes. We are growing, and the Healthiest family is growing. But without further delay, I hit my microphone. Without further delay, let's get right into why we are here. So, breathing is the very first thing you do when you come into this world, and the very last thing you'll do before you leave it. In between, we take more than 20,000 breaths every single day, but most of us rarely think about the health of our lungs until something goes wrong. Your lungs are more than just balloons inflating and deflating. They're sophisticated filters that connect your inner world to your outer world. Every single breath brings in oxygen that fuels your mitochondria. We talked about that 2 episodes ago, keeps your heart pumping, and literally keeps your brain alive. But here's the catch. The modern environment that we're in is choking our lungs. Studies show that indoor air can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, thanks to cleaning chemicals, plug-in scent boosters, and synthetic air fresheners releasing VOCs, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But those are volatile organic compounds. Add in smoking, vaping, poor ventilation, and weak stove exhaust systems. Our lungs are working overtime to just keep up. The truth is, most people won't notice serious problems until it's too late, until shortness of breath, chronic congestion, or inflammation that forces them to pay attention. But the lungs, just like every other organ, can be supported, strengthened, and protected. In this episode, we'll cover the fundamentals of respiratory health, 3 red flags that your lungs are in trouble, 3 micro habits you can build into your day to strengthen breathing, and 3 superfoods and herbs that support clean, powerful respiration. We'll also bust a few myths, maybe 1 or 2, because lung health isn't just about avoiding cigarettes. It's about creating an environment and a lifestyle that helps you thrive with every single breath. Thank y'all for being here. Respiratory health, here we go. And before I go deeper, again, that was just the opening monologue. I'm not here to treat, cure, or diagnose anything happening with your respiratory health. This platform is all about prevention and maintenance. I am a nutritionist, I am a personal trainer, and I'm a behavior change specialist. I use those disciplines to bring you tools and strategies so that way, again, we are preventing and we're maintaining good respiratory health. Now, if you find yourself or your respiratory health going in the wrong direction, before it gets too bad, hopefully this episode adds value and at the very least gives you the questions you need to talk to your provider, your trusted provider, so that way you two are in connection. You are taking responsibility for your health and you're not just relying on the professional opinion of your trusted provider. Hope that makes sense. So let's just talk about respiratory health fundamentals. I like to always start on what is the purpose of this function so you can know how it's supposed to work. So when it's not working that way, you can start doing the homework on getting yourself back on track. So pretty simple. The lungs deliver oxygen to the bloodstream and remove carbon dioxide. The exchange keeps life going. This is what keeps us breathing. The average adult lung capacity is 6 liters, but most people only use a fraction due to shallow breathing and poor posture. You know, when you're not sitting up straight, when you're not talking properly, when you're stressed out and distracted, you're taking shallow breaths and you don't know it. You're not practicing deep breathing, which uses the full capacity of your lung health. And as you know, like anything else, if you don't use it, you lose it. Your body realizes, oh, she or he doesn't need it. They're not working out. They're not running. They're not using all of this lung function. So It's like going to a restaurant and it's a table for 6, but it's only 2 of y'all. They gonna remove the plates, the cups, and the glassware, everything from those settings because you don't need it. We don't want that for our body. Also, respiratory health is tied to heart health, brain clarity, immune defense, and even hormone balance. And here's something to think about. Air pollution is now considered one of the top 5 global risk factors for early death. The WHO, World Health Organization, estimates that 7 million people die annually from air pollution-related causes, making clean air one of the biggest overlooked wellness strategies. So we come up with these strategies on how to improve our lung health, and some of them are right in our, we call it circle of influence. It's right in your control. You can't control the pollution outside from cars and the emission of buses and trains and power plants and cloud storage facilities and mining facilities. You can't control that part. That's out of your control. However, what you can control is the air you're breathing in your home. You can control the air in your vehicle. You know, that's what you have air filters in, for. And you can control some of the things you do or don't do. Vaping, smoking, hookah. You can control this stuff. Even alcohol. People don't think that alcohol affects respiratory health, but it adds oxidative stress into the body. It retards the cells, and it makes it harder for simple functions to do their job. So another thing I want us to look at is oxygen powers your heart. It powers your brain. And like I said, powers your hormones. So under breathing can ripple out into fatigue, brain fog, and poor immunity. This is why I really preach on deep breathing and box breathing. Really good inhale, hold it, because that holds capacity, and then exhale slowly, which allows for the release. And then you just do that for a couple of minutes. That is really good for respiratory health. Another thing I want us to think about, and I don't want us to get past this point. Yes, we want things to smell good. We want our home to smell good. We want our clothes to smell good. We want our cars to smell good. But you have to understand that some of these items that we are using to make it smell good have VOCs, and these compounds are making it harder for us and our pets and our children to have healthy respiratory function. I'm telling you now, there are been known as endocrine and hormone disruptors, meaning that that's where your ADHD is coming from. That's where your brain fog is coming from. That's where your fatigue and your mood swings may be coming from, is those plugins, the cheap candles that they smell super good, but they have all of these additives in it, and they have petroleum-based additives that make them last longer and smell more robust, but they are causing havoc on your brain functioning with your respiratory connection. It's causing havoc. And it's unfortunate that we're not talking about it enough. I know Bath and Body Works, they got dragged a little bit a while ago because people were finding out that their products had these VOCs and these chemicals in it. And that kind of went away. They rebounded. And again, their stuff this smells pretty good. However, you have to dig deeper. You have to follow the money, and you have to see what these products are doing to our health, especially long term. Their arguments for a lot, and not Bath and Body Works, but a lot of these big companies that are using these synthetic fragrances and these fake, even in your scent boosters in your laundry detergent. You know, you can smell good all day. I hit my mic. You can smell good all day, but at what cost? What cost does everything has this robust smell? Is it really worth it? Again, especially when there's some natural alternative to smell just as good. Because again, some of them, the natural flavors are being derived from earth anyway. So why not go to the main source or find a reputable fragrance provider or reputable candle person or lotion or body oil or body wash or shampoo? There's so many natural, like healthy ways to do it, and they smell really good. It's quality stuff. So that's what I'm just saying. Start considering those things for your respiratory health. Some red flags that we talked about throughout this week when I dropped some of the content earlier. One of the first signs your lungs may be struggling, shortness of breath. at rest, not going upstairs, not rushing to your gate because you had a bad transfer time from one flight to the other, not playing with the kids or running with the dog. This is just at rest. You're having shortness of breath. If climbing a single flight of stairs, carrying groceries from the car to the house, or even sitting still leaves you feeling winded, that's a signal your oxygen exchange isn't efficient. Mind you, there's an exchange, as we said earlier, with the carbon dioxide and the oxygen. Second one that we talked about was frequent chest tightness or wheezing. Now, this isn't just asthma. I know some people are dealing with asthma. This is not just that. This is above that. This is environmental triggers like mold and cleaning products, like we were talking about. Sometimes you got cleaning products all throughout your house, and the manufacturers, they're doing their job, because if you look on the back of the label, they're saying that this is dangerous to have in a closed environment. They're telling us this is dangerous around your kids and your pets. They're telling us this. Even the scented ones that have these scent boosters in it, there's something about these products that are taking away from our health. And it's a shame in this time and age when there's so many other companies that are doing a great job of giving you a efficient, effective product that still has a great natural smell and it's not harming you and your family or your pet's health. That's what you got to think about. Not just your health. Think about your pet. Think about your dog or your cat, who their sensors are heightened. They smell at a higher rate than we are, and they have to breathe in all these VOCs, all these toxins, all these fumes. Think about it from that point of view if you're not just thinking about it for yourself. So with the VOCs or even vaping, again, vaping is a thing that everyone is doing, and I shouldn't say everyone. It's a thing that people you see around I feel like I look around, it seems like everyone's doing it. I know everyone's not doing it because I'm not doing it. And this is not me thinking I'm better than the people who do it, but I'm just saying it is a thing, a phenomenon that's happening that you're like, everyone's vaping. I even see old heads vaping. Obviously, you see kids vaping, which is horrible. But everyone just got their they did like puffs all throughout the day. And this is giving you a better understanding that you may be doing it for whatever reason you're doing it for. This is no judgment on you, because some people need to just get through the day. Some people, it's stress management. So I get it. If you got a vape so you don't crash out on everybody who you work with, or so that you don't have a mental meltdown, I get it. Do what you got to do until you can do better. But this conversation is hopefully that one day you get to a mindset where you're like, tag, I'm pumping my lungs full of additives, preservatives, and not just the flavoring of this vape, not just the nicotine, not just the THC or the CBD or the hemp oil. I'm pumping it with other additives because they have to add things to give it that smoky effect or that lasting effect. I hope you know there's additives in there. There's things in there that are causing real complications down the road. As long as you know that, I don't think they're sharing that enough with all of us. And vaping just seems like the easiest thing to do to knock off the edge. But just know, hopefully you get to a point where you start weaning off of it, or you just start reducing it, because that's part of respiratory health. And the third flag that we talked about was constant mucus or phlegm. There's some people who all the time have mucus and phlegm. They just seem like that's just what it's supposed to be. This is not just during cold or flu season. This is not dealing with bronchitis or asthma or allergies. This is just all the time, which is wild. If you're clearing your throat daily or waking up hacking in the morning, your lungs are telling you they're overburdened and constantly trapping irritants, because that's what mucus really does. Mucus and phlegm is that gel, that gel, slimy, alien looking stuff. But what it's doing is trapping. And after it's trapped, then you're supposed to excrete it. It comes out. So it traps and it excretes. And you know how sticky and nasty phlegm and mucus is. Whatever gets in there is like our own spider web inside. It traps, and then our job is to excrete it out. But again, if you got a lot of that, a lot of mucus production, you're like, how much trapping does it need to do? Where are you at that you need to do this? This is prevalent with people who work in mines, coal mines. That mucus is off the hook because they're trapping that. People who are working in industries where there's a lot of smoke and a lot of fumes, those are the ones who usually deal with that. People working at gas stations, it's the fumes. So you want to get to a point, and even some of you may be experiencing it, and like, I don't work at none of these How many plugins do you have in your house? What quality of candles are you using? What cleaning products are so super strong? I'll name one, Fabuloso. It smells so good. I like the purple one. However, I have to, I know better now. So I can't do the same things that I used to do. So I need to figure out, why does it smell so good and why is it lasting so long and what is it doing to my respiratory health? Again, I'm going to save that stuff for my Wellness Wednesdays. By the way, every Wednesday on YouTube Live, I do a Wellness Wednesday night recap, and this is just real talk, no BS, no gimmicks. And I'll call out a Fabuloso. I'll call out these companies that may be producing products that longer exposure to the smell and what they're using for the fragrances may not be healthy for respiratory health. That's when I get in my bag. I do my research, I follow the money, and I bring it to you so you can make a conscious decision on what kind of cleaning products you want in your house. Just because we grew up on a thing and it's nostalgic and it makes us feel like home doesn't mean it's right, because our parents did the best they can with what they had. Our grandparents did the best they can with what they have. We have a responsibility, because we have so much technology at our fingertips, to do better, to grow, and not to judge the older generation or population for what they did, because they did the best they can with what they had. But us to say, okay, now we know better. What choices are we making for us, our families, our kids, our pets? And this is a really big topic for me, like really big when it comes to plugins and things that we're using in the home and in our clothing and stuff, because it is wreaking. We don't understand where ADHD is coming from, where autism is coming from, where mental decline is coming from. And sometimes it's right under our nose, literally and figuratively. So that's why I'm really passionate about getting more information out on these synthetic fragrances, these artificial smells. We'll talk Wellness Wednesdays. We'll keep it for Wellness Wednesdays. We'll keep it cute on the podcast side. So that was the third flag. Let's go to MicroHabits. Let's brighten this up a little bit. So now you know what are some red flags. Let's talk about some things we can do to improve our respiratory health. First and foremost, you hear me talk about this so much. Box breathing. I always give you different, either 4-7-8 or 4-4-4. You come up with the number, but you just need to be intentional for a couple of minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is good enough, once or twice a day. And like I say, 4-4-4 is the safest if you're just getting started out, so you can build up lung capacity. You're inhaling for 4, you're holding for 4, you're exhaling for 4. It's simple but very powerful. Not only does it strengthen your lung capacity over time, it also calms your nervous system, which is a double win. Number 2, daily air exchange. You guys heard me share this earlier in the week. But open your windows for at least 10 minutes a day. Yes, even in the winter, to flush out indoor pollutants. Your HVAC system can't do everything. Fresh air is the simplest detox for your lungs. And these are for more modern houses. I get it. What about when you have an older house that just has a radiator for the winter time and there is no central air for the summertime? You have a fan, maybe a oscillating fan or a circulating fan. You may have a ceiling fan. What you want to do with those is check for dust. Check for dust accumulation. That is a thing. You want to wipe that off. You want to make sure, you have a fan, and behind the fan or on the edges of the fan or the grates of the fan is dust buildup. That's going into your lungs. It's almost like your fan is doing you a favor on collecting it. Your job is to keep it clean so it doesn't go in your lungs. Now, let's say you don't have central, but you have an air conditioner. There's a filter screen. Some people don't even notice is a thing, but you could take off that front cover and there's a filter screen. A lot of them you can just wash it. Back in the day, you have to buy a new one, but you can wash it. What it's doing is trapping some of those irritants from getting into your lungs, and you should be cleaning the filter. It's also not a bad idea just to get an air purifier for your home. Those are really great. It may seem like it's costly, but it's a good investment to help your lungs in the modern environment that we're in right now. Our lungs are fighting for their lives with all the things that we're introducing to our lungs on a day-to-day basis. Having extra support, having an external pair of lungs in the house, it won't hurt. It just, especially if you don't have an HVAC. Some of the HVAC system, most HVACs, I know mine, there's a filter screen. So every 3 months, I go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever I found a deal, and I get the screen to put in there. So that way, when it's sucking in the air and then coming out in the vents, it's filtering out and it's keeping the air clean. Sometimes you could just run it on fan mode, so that way you're not burning through your electricity bill. But that's just another micro habit that you have control over. So again, open it, even with the HVAC, the air conditioner, the fan, the ceiling fan, you still want to open up your windows, open up your doors, get some fresh air and allow things to circulate in and circulate out. When you're doing that, make sure you have a source that the air is coming in, and maybe in another room, a window open, or have the source going out. Or if you have 2 windows in a room, open up both so air can go in and out the other. You just want circulation. You want ventilation. That's the whole key. And last but not least, what else did we talk about? Oh, the third one. I kind of just spoke about it now, a micro habit, which is filter discipline. So this is probably, let's say, the less sexy hack, but this is one of the most powerful. And again, I already talked about for your home air conditioner, your heaters, your stoves, even above the stoves, you have your ventilation. Some of that, believe it or not, it's just taking the smoky stuff that you're cooking with, the irritants from the oils that you're cooking with, and it's blowing through and it's coming right back in the house. And if you don't have a good filter, not the standard ones that came when you bought it, but if you're not having a good filter to trap that before it comes out, you're just breathing it. You're just breathing it in. I don't want to say it's a flawed system, but it could be more efficient, especially some of the older models that just suck in the air and blow out the same dirty air. It's just cooler. But that's something you want to look out for. When you're cooking, how can you protect you and your family's respiratory health from fumes, bad oils, and just some of the smoke that happens from cooking? It's going to happen, but you want to just protect your family and not just turn on the function of the microwave or vent that's over your stove. Okay, this is working because it's making a loud noise. That doesn't mean it's working. That doesn't mean it's filtering. You want to make sure that there's a filter on there and something that's trapping. Usually it's carbon and it's some of these HEPA filters. Just take a look at it. I don't want you spending all your money, but now you know better, do better. Like, go look at the thing over your stove and say, okay, how is this cleaning and processing in the air? And when I turn this on, this filter, this vent, what is it filtering? What is it venting? Do some math and you'll be like, okay, it's just been making noise this whole time. And then, do something about it. And let's see, superfoods. Y'all know this is my bag. So superfoods for respiratory health. What you can eat and sip. Let's talk about it. So mullein, I always say mullein or mullein. I say mullein, but it's probably mullein tea. MULLEINT. Now, this is a classic. Ask dopamine about this. We spoke about, actually, I think on Coach's Corner, we're going to talk a little bit more about it. In about 2 days, that episode drops. But she even speaks on this. This is a traditional lung herb that soothes irritation. It helps clear mucus and has been used for centuries for respiratory complaints. It's like a natural lung tonic, but in a teacup. It's really good. Again, Mountain Rose, I think they carry it, but look for your trusted organic herb or spice place that you get it from. Just don't go straight to Amazon because sometimes it's hard to find a trusted source. But if you find one, share it in the comments because we all want to know where we can buy organic or trusted herbs and spices and roots. I love that kind of stuff. Number 2, we call it NAC. This is a compound that restores glutathione, which is basically your lungs' master antioxidant. It also thins mucus, so it makes it easier to clear it out. If you've ever felt gunky in your chest, NAC is worth looking into. NAC, so it's N-acetylcysteine. So you'll see how it's spelled. N-ACETYL space CYSTEINE. This is something you definitely should be looking up and getting a little more deep dive into it. We're going to do it on Coach's Corner. Again, y'all know the solo podcast is to glaze over it and build exposure and get you curious and excited about, okay, this sounds cool. It's this is in the superfood category. So this means it's something I can go get and invest in. Yes, 100%. I want you to do some homework, look it up and figure out how does it support your body? Where can you get it from and how do you take it? And last but not least, number 3, This is my baby, Ginger. I'm a ginger. I was going to say, I'm a ginger guy. I was going to say something. I'm a ginger guy. I love ginger. This fruit, as you all know, is anti-inflammatory. It helps relax the airways and eases congestion. A bonus point, it's easy to add to teas, stir fries, or even smoothies. Felicia, shout out to my sister. Everybody call her Peaches. She is religious when it comes to ginger. And it's usually at the beginning of the week. She got me doing it now, where she takes a couple of bulbs of ginger. Not bulbs, that's garlic. She takes a couple of roots of ginger and she chops it up. She cleans it first, chops it up. She gets a boiling pot of water and then she adds it there. She lets it cook probably for a couple of more minutes and turns it off and lets it steep. And after about an hour or two, she takes that and she pours it into glass pitchers and it's in her refrigerator and she drinks it as a cold little drink throughout the week. So clutch. She said it's helped her with her bloating. It's helped her with her gut issues, and it gave her more energy. Again, we are coffee people. I don't do caffeine, but I still love the flavor of coffee. It's so good when you can swap out for other things that are actually anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antibacterial. When you can tap into those things to help support real energy, real health, it's a game changer. You can add honey to it. You can add stevia. You can add lemons to it. Make like a little lemon and ginger aid. The skies are the limit. But look at the baseline. Ginger. Ginger is so great for respiratory health. And you can get it. It's easy to access. And even though it's spicy, you want to do it in a way that it's going to be palatable. So you got to find what works for you. I'm sure if you do the work, you'll get creative and you'll have some fun with it. Now, here's some naturopathic insights. You guys know I love talking from a naturopathic point of view. This podcast is about prevention and maintenance. I'm a naturopath. I love naturopathic energy and insight because it's whole health strategy, not just symptom strategy. So beyond food, there are some holistic tools that really help. Ooh, I'm down to 2 minutes. All right, I got you guys. There's some foods that really help. Steam inhalation, steam inhale. So with eucalyptus oils, they clear out the sinuses. That's when you can put the towel over the pot with some eucalyptus and you just breathe it in. This helps to clear things out naturally. Posture is huge. So rounded shoulders, compressed lung capacity while standing tall instantly expands it. So this is compressing it. This is opening up everything. And that means you get to breathe deeper and you fix those shallow breaths. And then herbs like thyme and oregano, game changers. I love wild oregano oil. That is my go-to, especially in the winter time when I'm dealing with all types of threats, when it comes to immune health. That wild oregano oil has been a game changer with a scoop of honey. It gets me right. But these are antimicrobial, which supports respiratory defenses when bugs are floating around. And that's pretty much it. I mean, usually there's a myth. Let me try to do a myth real quick for y'all. So vaping is safe alternative to smoking. Nope. Studies show vaping damages lung tissue and increases inflammation. It's just a different road to the same destination, poor health. And number 2 myth is plug-in air fresheners mean clean air. No, the truth is many release VOCs linked to asthma, lung irritation, and long-term toxicity. If you want fresh air, open up the window or use some essential oils. And that's pretty much it. Your lungs are your direct connection to life. Protect them, and every breath you take will fuel your body with energy, clarity, and resilience. Ignore them, and the damage builds silently until it demands your attention. So start simple. Open your windows, upgrade your filters, straighten your posture, and maybe sip on some teas so your future self and lungs will thank you. Because remember, health is wealth, and I'm just here to make sure you're getting paid. Until next time, yum on. I really appreciate y'all. See you on the next one. Thyroid health is coming up next week.